Hey guys, good afternoon. It's Sunday. I want to tell you about our book that we read for our reading circle. It was called Just My Type, written by Simon Garfield. Let me tell you, this book, it is awesome. Garfield takes us on a journey, and I use that word with all sincerity. A journey through history talking about fonts, type. And, I'm probably like a lot of y'all, when I first heard we were going to read this, I'm like, this is going to be long, and this is going to be boring, and this is going to be horrible. I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. Because Garfield made this subject, made this topic come to life. He begins with a joke. This is a master's level class. We're reading this book. I'm thinking, yeah. He begins with a joke, talking about Comic Sans. And, speaking of Comic Sans, who would have ever thought? We've all seen this font floating around. I didn't know it was at Disney World. I didn't know what it was called. I do now because of Garfield. Garfield took me on a journey. I learned about Gutenberg. And, these are things we've learned about in the past, but he brought Gutenberg to life for me. Why did Gutenberg create the printing press? What were the details of Gutenberg's life? What was it like? He gave me some insight into all of that. Gave me insight into some of the history of why we don't do things. And yeah, we all know that typing in all capitals is yelling. Well, by golly, you better choose the right font if you don't want to be typing in all capitals, because some of these fonts only come in all capitals. And just little things, P's and Q's. Who knew that was a result of actually printers using the press tossing the P's and Q's into the wrong bin because they look so similar? These are little facts, little tidbits that I never knew. Now, I'm kind of the amateur graphic artist guy. I do some t-shirt stuff. If you look around my office, which I'm not panning around because it's really nasty in here, but I do some of that. I do some t-shirts, do some graduation cards and all that good stuff. Never knew it really had a wonderful sense of why I chose some letters and characters and fonts and stuff to go together. But after reading Garfield and learning about the evolution of fonts, how they've evolved over time, and the why, how some fonts are more readable than others, and seeing him bring some of these to life, I have a much better understanding. I think that it will help me in my amateur stuff learn and be more aware of the fonts that I use. He does such a wonderful job of just showing and telling the history. It's not every day that you're going to get a book that's 350 some pages that you're going to pick up and you're going to hang on to for 2 days straight and say, I don't want to put this down. But this was that type of book. Really, really enjoyed it. I believe that my favorite chapter out of the entire book was talking about the poor fonts, the worst fonts in the world. And then I realized that I'm guilty of using at least two of those, maybe three, in the last 6 months, using them on projects, using them in the classroom. And I'm like, okay, what does that say about me as a graphic artist? What does that say about me as an educator that I chose these fonts? They're not great readable fonts. But I think that I will probably keep this book on my desk as a reference from now on to tell me and give me a little bit of insight about the students that I have, because really the font says a lot about the person. Text in our world is very artifactual, and we all bring about text into our learning. Whether it's writing, typing, what fonts we're choosing for that. So I only have 5 minutes to talk, and I don't want to go over. So that was my experience with this. I encourage each of you to go ahead, pick up a copy of this book and read it. It's awesome.